Inside every museum is a hidden world. Now cameras are going behind the scenes at the Victoria and Albert Museum.
Wow, look at it, they're catching the light already.
Look at the company. Oh my goodness.
Home to more than 2 million wonders of art, design and performance.
Looks busting. He looks all right, doesn't he?
Oh, look at that. Bit of history. It's not something I was expecting to ever come across in my life as a conservator.
This year, many of us have had to stay away, but behind closed doors, the work must go on. On the other side of the museum, a rare find from more recent times is also being prepared for its debut on display. Theatre and performance curator Simon has come to conservation to inspect this new addition to the collection.
I hear we've got a surprise delight for me to have a look at today.
We do.
It's always a joy for a curator when you see something from one of the most significant recording artists of all time.
Wow, look at that. I mean, already it's like the light is dancing off it. You can see this amazing beading, the sequins, crystals.
The colours.
Amazing, look at it.
This edge is beautiful, the scalloped edge of iridescent beads framing her face. It is fun.
This jewel-encrusted catsuit was created in 1969 for the one and only Shirley Bassey.
Now you really see the gold inside as well. Yeah. It is really fun, isn't it? It just makes you smile. You can hear Shirley Bassey, you know, I mean, it sort of screams Shirley Bassey and that personality.
The skin-tight ensemble was among her most striking outfits and featured on the iconic album cover
Diamonds are forever.
Of one of her biggest Bond movie hits.
Touch it, stroke it and undress it.
Among a whole wardrobe full of sequin-studded outfits, the catsuit now in the museum was Bassey's personal favourite. With her powerful voice and penchant for glamorous gowns, the Welsh singer from Tiger Bay has recorded a record-breaking 35 top 40 albums in a career spanning over 70 years.
For when love's gone, they lust her on.
When Shirley Bassey originally auctioned garments from her collection, she said she was doing so for charity and wanted to see where they would end up. And it's actually thanks to our conservation department who spotted it at auction. And we were very, very, very lucky to acquire it.
The extremely fine catsuit is crafted from silk chiffon and net, heavily embellished with sequins, glass beads and crystals.
This material here is almost intended to be sort of flesh-coloured-esque.
Exactly, which adds to the effect. So we have these two layers of almost skin color chiffon. It doesn't have much of a structure. So the body is giving it this structure. So that is a compliment to Shirley Bassey.
Diamonds may be forever, but after more than 50 years of stage shows, the costume is in danger of losing its luster.
When you first look at something like that, you have the wow effect. So your eyes just wander through this beautiful object. Gradually, you begin to discover all the problems within this beautiful object. Performance costumes are really put through a trial. Inevitably, there are areas of damage.
Yes.
As we look closely now, we begin to see these breaks on the net. And then we carry on moving up, and we have the very delicate silk chiffon, which along the front has many splits. Here, obviously, we've missed one. We've lost a bead. So the more you begin to look, you begin to discover all the problems.
The catsuit will soon have a license to thrill the Viennese visitors when it goes on display for the first time, but only if the painstaking conservation work is complete.
For us to be able to have a piece of her career, a piece of that history as part of the collection is incredibly special.
It is.
And actually that being so special is one of the reasons why I'm so keen that we get it on display.
But the complexity of the diva's delicate outfit means many hours of work lie ahead.
This is incredibly intricate, delicate material, and probably one of the most complicated costumes I've worked on. So our team there really have their work cut out.
In textile conservation, Susanna is starting work on Shirley Bassey's ornate but fragile catsuit.
The base of the embroidery is kind of missing its bead. Fortunately, it was found, so it was kept in a Ziploc bag. We have decided to put it back. It's a costume made to create an impact. It's beautifully designed and embellished.
Dame Shirley wore this favourite outfit repeatedly throughout her career, and 50 years of sell-out stage shows have taken their toll.
The problem is, as she performed, as she moved, as she bent, as she twisted, the chiffon and all the weighty decoration has a split in some key areas. There are many, many tears in this costume. Many. It is quite tricky because I'm dealing with two very sheer layers. It's incredibly delicate fabric. Under the weight of the beads, it then pulls in the opposite direction of the tear. So there are all kinds of tensions playing against each other.
The decadent beadwork was the trademark of couture designer Douglas Darnell, who created gowns for the world's leading ladies.
Douglas Darnell was incredibly well-respected and in-demand designer at the time and throughout his career. Given the number of people that he designed for, not only Dame Shirley Bassey, but Joan Collins, Marlene Dietrich, these people are at the height of their career, the height of fame. So who do you go to? The best in the business. And he is responsible, I would argue, for creating that iconic Bassey look, that extravagance, that flamboyance.
Doug just doesn't make gowns. I mean, they're like buildings. I mean, he's he's an architect. He is just magic, you know.
She's got the choice of the world she can go to, but I mean, she usually comes back to me to do something. Mind you, I probably know her figure inside and out better than what she does, so I know all the best bits to show.
Darnell's original design involved wide ostrich feather bell-bottoms, and Dame Shirley wore this signature motif on many of her famous album covers. But to keep the catsuit up to date, Darnell tapered in the flares, and Bassey wore the revamped costume for her 60th birthday performance in 1997.
This is my life, and I am what I am. Left to the river.
She wore this at the age of 32 and again at the age of 60. And that is certainly quite impressive and remarkable to see that she maintained her figure all these years.
To ensure this cherished costume survives many decades more, Susanna uses a specially adapted needle to stitch each tear in the fine chiffon.
So there is a slight curve now on the needle. And I'm going to use this fabric. So this is a very sheer fabric, and we call Stabotex. It's polyester, so it adds a very good support. So I'm just pulling a thread. This is when it takes hours to do this, because the thread is the same color as my finger. Okay, and I'm going to do some anchoring stitches across. It is very important to progress slowly and consider every step carefully. One does feel like an eye surgeon at times, it is true. I decided to be kind to myself and ease myself in with a small tear, just to really get a feel for the movement of the chiffon and stitching with a thread surrounded by decoration, which is easily caught by the decorations. So I'm trying to, yes, I got a knot, tiny knot. Threads are tricky. With the fine thread, it inevitably curls slightly, and if you're not keeping it in tension constantly, these curls can create a knot. It has turned out to be a big job. What is so difficult? The net is slightly pink, and the thread is slightly pink, so they blend in beautifully, so it's very difficult to see. Stop. Okay, so this is done.
Susanna will need to keep the thread in constant tension to avoid further knots. Next, she must reinforce the area with new netting and ensure the crystals keep their sparkle.
I'm going to cut over the rhinestone to relieve some of the tension. It takes time, and it's a process that we do not rush, especially when the object is destined for display, to go on a mannequin. The costume will be under a certain tension, so it has to be strong enough to withstand vertical display.
Over the next 2 weeks, Susanna must repair the many tears in the chiffon catsuit in time for its starring role in the gallery. In textiles conservation, another delicate object is in need of very careful handling. After hours of painstaking conservation, display specialist Gazer is tasked with making a mannequin fit for a diva.
So I want to create a look that is actually authentic. I want to make sure that the silhouette is correct from all sides and angles. But I also want to make sure that there isn't any damage. The weight of the embellishment could potentially tear the very fragile silk chiffon any further, and this is something that we definitely must avoid.
To help her achieve the right look, Gazer is using performance photos of Dame Shirley on stage as her guide.
I just love the expression of hers. She's so full of energy. Images like this, they really help me to try to recreate the shape and let her come alive in a particular way.
So we've decided to use a fiberglass mannequin. We can make sure that the figure is going to strike a really beautiful pose, which hopefully will do Shirley Bassey justice.
The material that the beadwork is stitched onto is very thin and fine chiffon, and it's prone to be torn very, very easily.
One of the bigger challenges is actually the dressing itself.
We need to turn the mannequin around, don't we?
Yeah. We need to be really, really careful that we don't introduce any further damage to the material when dressing it.
One false move and the outfit could tear.
So this is a very tricky moment because the feet of the mannequin, they're really closely together, and we need to make sure that the decoration catches as little as possible.
But dressing a stiff fiberglass mannequin gives them little wiggle room.
There is only an ever so slight gap between the 2 feet, and getting it over the feet without causing any damage to the object is very, very challenging.
I'm just trying to force the legs apart a bit as we do. Okay, and just a little bit, yeah, it would be good to have a little bit more space.
It seems to be a little bit twisted here.
Is it the...
Yeah. Something cool.
The heavily embellished crystals on the legs of the suit have got tangled at the ankles, pulling at the material underneath.
Look in the middle there.
Yeah. Something cool.
Need to come round here.
It's a bit twisty.
These mannequins, they're stiff. They won't just easily raise their leg or their arm to help us stepping just into the costume. We have to do the work for them.
You mustn't forget to breathe.
I know.
Yeah, that looks,
Oh, that's
that
much
looks
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're through now.
Well caught. Well spotted. Ooh. 1, 2, 3.
The catsuit is slowly pulled up onto the mannequin without any damage. And Dame Shirley is finally on her feet.
All right.
To get the signature Shirley Bassey look, next the team attach some articulated arms. Now they need to create a pose worthy of a musical legend.
This is a very special costume with a very special biography and worn by a very special person. To not have before had a piece of costume from somebody who's had such a sustained career, this is our opportunity to put that right.
It's the moment of truth for one of Dame Shirley Bassey's most beloved outfits.
I'm very excited today because I'm going to see the costume on the mannequin for the first time.
And it's a chance for curator Simon to appreciate Susanna's delicate repairs to the skin-tight catsuit.
Wow. Looks amazing. It's impossible to see where the work has been done, Susanna.
It's very difficult, I'm glad to say. I know where they
Amazing
are.
job. You see the way that the embellishment and those wonderful beads just bring this wonderful aspect to it. How they add to the shaping of the costume and the definition.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see the cape. That's what I really want to see now.
That catsuit is only one part of the ensemble. The cape brings a whole new level to that performance.
Designer Douglas Darnell often made lavish matching capes for Dame Shirley to wear when she stepped out on stage for an encore.
Wow.
Isn't it beautiful? There she is.
Wow. Look at that gold. That says luxury, doesn't it?
Yes.
It says extravagance.
Slide it.
The final piece of this outfit is a gold lame-lined cape, trimmed with turquoise blue ostrich feathers.
Wow.
And further embellished with aquamarine sequin embroidery.
I mean, it's stunning, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. The colours. I mean, this certainly, you will not be able to walk past this in the galleries. I mean, this is what you call a showstopper.
Yeah.
That is a showstopper.
It is astounding to be here, staring almost at Dame Shirley Bassey herself. And I think what's really remarkable is, under these lights, you can see the patination of the sequin embellishment are diamonds. And that's wonderful. Another link to Diamonds Are Forever.
Finally, the stellar costume is on its way to the gallery, ready to meet the public once more.
Oh, wow. Look at that. You see her sparkling already. It's fabulous.
It is an honour to have such an amazing piece. And I hope that we have done Shirley Bassey herself justice. And I would like to think that she'd be very happy that it was on display. And it is really testament to her and her amazing career. And we can't wait for the visitors to come and enjoy it just as much as we are.